What you guys, got another video here for you. The ultimate PC repair tool called WinTune. It's not quite finished yet. I'm still working on a few little bugs here and there, but it's nearly done and then it will be ready for release. So what is WinTune? Well, WinTune is not here to replace WinUtil or WinHance or any of these other advanced programs out there that are doing just debloating and things like that. This tool is just really for a variety of different things that you have to do all the time, and it just speeds the whole process up. So starting up the very top, you can see we have Start System Audit. When I click on this, it's going to gather system information and it will give you a full-blown report of what is actually on the system, and it will help you if you're a PC repair tech and you need to get sort of information from the system that you do on a regular basis, but this sort of speeds the whole process up. Now, you might be thinking this is taking quite a bit of time. That's because it's gathering quite a bit of information, and this does take time. But once it's populated, it will pop up on the screen right here. So let it just do its thing, and then it will populate. So we're on a real machine here right now. It's Windows 10. But again, like I said, it is really sort of designed for Windows 11. You can see right here, straight away, we do have the system audit now done, and it will give you the current user, and it will also see there it says admin, gives you the computer name, which is this right here, tells us that the Windows is activated, system uptime, and it's got 0 days. That means this PC has not been on permanently, and you can see Windows activation status is activated, and it's got 3 pending updates found. So it means I can update this system and because it has 3 updates available. Going down into the security and compliance area, you can see admin rights, admin. Also RDP is disabled. It says OK. And then we've got guest account is disabled. And we can see firewall is OK. It's on and working. TPM present. It's OK. TPM ready is OK. And UAC is enabled. And we can already see SMB version 1 disabled, OK. LSA protection is disabled. And then moving on down to the security and maintenance, power source, it's on AC power. If you're on a laptop, it's going to have battery power right here. Pending reboot, no. That means if there's any pending reboots on that system waiting to go, it will tell you right here. This is useful if you're looking to work on the system and it's got a reboot pending. You can quickly reboot the system. Drive health, it tells me that the drive is healthy. CPU load is 21%. RAM usage is 15.6 gigabytes use, and that's because I have a virtual machine running right now, so it's using quite a bit of memory. And we also have event viewer right here, crash checks, recent blue screen of deaths, it says 1, critical errors 0, unsuspected reboots, it had 3 of those. So now you can investigate a bit further. If you've got a problematic PC, you can quickly check because it's giving you the information right here. Going on to the networking sort of checks here, you can see internet is working okay. VPN connected, it's not, it's disconnected. And we got Ethernet up, okay. That means it's all working fine. Wi-Fi connected, disconnected. Moving on down to the core hardware and CPU. This will give you all the information like the CPU, the architecture, the frequency, the cores and threads. Also virtualization is enabled. That means we can do virtual machines on here. Installed RAM, it gives me the full installed RAM at the speed that that RAM is capable of. Graphics card, it will tell me right here it's a 4070 Ti on this system. Storage and partitioning, boot method is UEFI, and partition style is MBR, recommended GPT. So that's because I'm on a Windows 10 system right here. Free space, and it gives me the amount of free space available. And BitLocker is foul. That means it's off. I've turned it off. And then you've got your BIOS information right here, your BIOS version, and your motherboard inside here, which tells me what motherboard it is. And you can see secure boot is enabled. Let's move on to the system utilities. As you can see, this big long list is quite useful. So it's giving all you the information that you need for that PC if you're going to be working on it. And you can create a report here and post this up on to a forum if you need tech support or somewhere like that. It will help out. So let's move on to the system utilities right here. Inside here, you'll notice we still have the information right here. This will disappear when you click on one of these buttons. But if I do like a trim right here for trim SSD, let me just quickly show you that this does actually work. So I'm going to go to right here, and inside here you'll be able to see the actual trim working when I click on this button right here. So as soon as I click on the trim command here, it should start doing this on the bottom here like so. And if we look on here, you'll see it is trimming my drive, which is an NVMe drive. So it's working perfectly fine, and it'll give you all the information right here. I'm not going to click on defrag because it will start to defrag the NVMe drive, and we don't want to do that because it's not meant to be defragged. And I might make a video on the difference between defrag and trim, because some people always ask me what trim is. So we're going to cover that in another upcoming video. So you can see right here, it's now doing its job and it is now finished. And you should have all the information listed right here of what's just happened. So also the smart readout right here, when you click on smart, it should bring up the smart information right here. And I'm going to add some more information here so it gives us a full report. I might even add another button in here for downloading something like Crystal Disk or something like that, so it will pop up and populate inside here, and you'll be able to see a window pop up for Crystal Disk. Check disk, again, this will run a check disk on the system. When I click this, it's going to initialize a check disk on volume C, and you can see it doing that right here. And again, what this will do is it will give you a full readout of what's actually happened and whether the drive has any errors or bad sectors on it, and it will check all of this right here. So let me just let that finish. And you can see right down the bottom here, 0 KB bad sectors. It means it doesn't have any bad sectors. It's functioning perfectly fine. But if you wanted to, I can add another fix one here, which will take some time. If you want to add that in, I can do. But again, that is the check disk right here. So we've done defrag. You can install Winget here as well. If you want to get Winget or Chocolatey, you can do. I can add one for Chocolatey, but I'll show you that a little bit later on down in the app section right here. If you're on Windows Home, you can install Group Policy right here. And you've got the Windows 11 upgrade check. If I do this right here, and it's going to give me a full readout of compatibility for Windows 11 and tells me that this is our processor right here, our memory, our storage, firmware, it's UEFI. You can see it's all passed, and the GPU is now passed. Display resolution, it's not read that correctly. It says failed, but it's because I've just shrunken down an ultra wide screen here to try and make it fit so I can record at 1080p. But that will give you the information here. Saves you downloading the Microsoft tool, but if you want to, I can add a link right here to download and install that right here. If you want to get your show your Windows key, this will download the file that is needed called show key plus, and there we go. It's now showing that information on the screen. It tells me what version of Windows I have, and it also tells me what my key is. And you can also retrieve this key for backup, and you can also check product key right here. The other version will give you information right here, and it also prints it out as well. This is on that same show Windows key right here. So, okay, so now let's do a secure delete as well. So for the secure delete, I'm on a SSD here or NVMe drive, so I need to click on this one right here, and this box will pop up. It'll say yes, choose for individual files to shred, or no to choose for an entire folder with all the contents inside. So we're going to say yes, and I've got a file inside here that I want to delete, this one right here. So when I click open, it's going to say permanently shred one file on SSD. This cannot be undone. Overwrite then trim will be applied to make sure you can't recover this file. So I'm going to say yes, and you can see right here, it should now overwrite this and basically remove that file. Next, we can do a folder if we want to. And we can see here, choose the entire folder. So let's go no. And we can now go to that location and choose a folder. It's inside here. Let's go here and let's look for secure delete and say yes. I want to permanently delete that. And there we go. It's now done. And you can see it's done 3 passes on there and securely deleted that file and it's gone. I could quickly show you here so you can see it's been removed. Okay, so that is the secure delete here. And that is the secure delete for SSD. If you hover over, it will tell you some information with the little bubbles here of information. And again, if you want to edit your host's file, you can just click on here. And this is a protected file, but you can see we can open this up in Notepad, do our edits and block some domain names or addresses right here and click save. And it will then save that to your host's file and basically block those. Inside here, this is just your system information that you can pull up right here. Not as detailed as the one that I showed you earlier, but again, it's always useful to have quick access to this. Windows features, if you need to enable any of these quickly, you can do by clicking on this right here. Nothing too crazy. And again, battery info. This is for to give you full battery info of your laptop. It will tell you basically the battery status, the power plan, the charge cycles, and the battery health information by clicking on this. I'm on a desktop PC, so this is not going to work. But if you was, it will give you a full report right here, and you can even print that out by saving that report. Okay, so let's open up the Windows Update controls here inside the Settings Utilities panel still. We're only on the second button, but you've got a bunch of different stuff here. But in the Windows Update controls, we have Enable, which will enable the Windows Update service, disable it, or we can pause. It says 7 days here, but it will pause for 35 days. We've got Default here. This is to reset all your default settings and set it to security updates only. So if I quickly pause this right here, you'll see it's pausing the Windows updates for 35 days right here. And I'll correct that little bubble to say 35 days. And if we go into our settings panel right here, you'll see that it's should have paused this. This on Windows 10. You can see it's give us the resume date right here. And we can resume this if we wanted to. And basically that's that. So if I want to go back to default settings right here, it should put that back to default settings. And let me see, we are on Windows 10 and we should now see that these have gone back to default settings. There we go. I have a group policy set on this one anyway in group policy settings. And as you can see, it doesn't reset your policies. This is something I was talking to, well, debating with someone in the comments section where they're saying Windows will reset all of this and it doesn't reset your policies. It will keep these in place. And that's why group policy is the best way to stop Microsoft from turning things on, because a policy will block a lot of that. So let's go back to our tool and we can see right here, we do have drivers here. Let me just close this off. So we have drivers, diagnostic and tweaks, and you can see backup drivers. If I clicked on this right here, it's going to go ahead and download a double driver, which is a great little tool. It was made a long time ago, but it still works perfectly fine. And you can back up your drivers by clicking on backup drivers, and you can scan for current system. And there we go. And you can check mark what you need and you can back up your drivers. So if I back up now, I can put them into, say, for instance, let me say I want to put them in my C root directory right here. So let's go here, C, and we'll say there. We can make a folder. We'll call this drivers, something like that. I'll do. And we're going to click OK. And you can compress it, or you can have it as a single self-extracting file. I'm going to leave it as is. And we're going to go like this. And it's now going to back up all of these drivers. Now, someone said in a previous video, this is not backing up your drivers. Well, I don't know what he's talking about, because it does actually back up all of your drivers and it does restore them. So I don't really know. There's so many experts on the internet nowadays They love to critique everything you say in videos and critique what you're talking about as if they know best, but yet they've got no content on their channel. But anyway, we'll let this do its thing and we'll go over there and take a quick look when it's done. So that's nearly done. Apparently this is not backing up the drivers, but you can see right here, it is actually backing up the Realtek Bluetooth drivers right here and a bunch of other drivers. And there we go. It's now done. I didn't select all of these, but you can see if I wanted to, I can restore from here as well by clicking restore. But let me just quickly show you inside here and inside the drivers that we created a folder here. And there we go, 4.30 gigabytes. Well, if they're not drivers, I don't know what they are, but you can see right here, it gives you a full breakdown of exactly what is inside here. Let's go display. There is our NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 Ti driver right here. And you can see it's all NVIDIA right here, all backed up, all into that folder. So if these are not full backups, I don't know what they are. But again, as like I said before, experts on the internet seem to think they know everything and they love to critique in the comment section. But when you prove them wrong, they disappear into the woodwork like every troll does. But there you go. You can restore these if you wanted to. And that is double driver. Give you a little report right here. Ghost devices are just old legacy devices that you can just remove that are not used anymore. But sometimes these can cause issues by being on the system, conflicts and stuff. And you can clean out old drivers as well and disable driver updates if that's what you want to do. If you want to download more drivers, if you haven't got driver backups and you haven't done this, and you can use something like Snappy Driver Origin from Glenn Delahoy right here. And you can basically download this. It will download it, execute it and open it. And then you can do a scan for driver updates on your system. If you prefer, you can go to the source and download it straight from there if you want to, but it will look something like this. And you would click accept, and then you go through into expert mode here and you can start scanning for drivers. And this is a really good tool that Glenn's put together here, the Snappy Driver Installer. And if you are in the PC repair industry, something like this is going to be a godsend. Download index only. These are the ones that you want to click on, and it's going to basically do a scan, and it does take a bit of time, but once you got this, you can find any sort of outdated drivers or drivers that are missing on the system. You can check mark what you need over here. I've shown you this before, a really, really good tool. And show your support to Glenn Delahoy on his website and give him a donation for keeping this going, because it's tools like this are a godsend for PC repair techs. And you can see it's now starting to find stuff. And it says we can get updates for these right here. Move on to the memory optimizer. Now, there's a lot of people that requested this on Discord that wanted to have this tool inside here. And basically what this will do, let me just open this up right here. Let's see if we can find it. Here we go, resource monitor. Basically your standby memory right here. Some people like to clear this just before they're gaming and make sure this is clear. And let's go ahead and do that right here. So if I click on this, it's going to take you to this page right here, and you can clear the standby list right here by clicking on this. It's going to download the empty standby list.exe file, and it's basically going to purge all of that memory right here. So I'll quickly do this right here. So let me quickly click on the button right here, and you should see this suddenly empty out right here. There you go. It's starting to go already, and it's emptied that out and took it right the way down. And that's what that's doing right there. If you're wondering where this tool is, if you want to get rid of it afterwards, all you need to do here is go into your C root directory, and it's listed right here, and you can remove that folder or you can leave it there. It's entirely up to you. You can create also a task, running task, to clean this off on a regular basis if you want to, but if you want to get rid of it, it's that simple. So that is how you can clear that right there. And also, if you wanted to do a page file for 16 gigabytes, you can do right here. And you've got page file for 32 gigabytes and page file for 64 gigabytes. No page file, which is not recommended, but some people do like to turn it off if they have infinite amount of memory. They think by turning it off, it works perfectly fine and they've had no issues. That's up to you. But again, I think always having some sort of page file is useful. But again, that debate will run and run. But if you want to open up the page file settings page, you can click on this and it will open up this page right here. You can click on, you can click on advanced and then click on the virtual memory right here. And this is what it's going to do. It will change this here. I have mine set to automatic to let Windows manage it because I think it works perfectly fine. But a lot of people who love to tweak Windows love to tweak the virtual memory settings. And this was also requested in one of my videos. I see in the comments someone was talking about virtual memory. And again, so I've added these right in here. And this will do pre-configured presets for 16 gigabytes, 32 and 64. I mean, 8 gigabytes is a bit of a stretch, but that's pretty much it. And there's your default settings right here. And you can choose to select the drive that you want to do it on. I've only got one drive on this machine, but if you had more drives, it will be in the drop down right here. And you can set the virtual memory settings for those drives as well. Okay, so let's get on to the cleanup section right here. Again, we're only on the cleanup section and the video is already getting too long, but I wanted to go through all of these individually so you can see. So for instance, we do have junk remover here. This is going to remove a lot of system temps and a lot of other junk files on the system. This cleanup is just going to open up the actual Windows built-in Windows tool right here. You click on this and it will open up this and do a cleanup on the system. I don't want to run that on my system, but again, you can do, and it will clean all the temporary internet files. And I've got passwords on here which I don't want to clean off. That's why I stopped it. Also, we've got delete the temporary files. Again, this is slightly different sort of cleaning method that you can use. And this will delete all of the browsing temporary files that you have when you're browsing the web as well. It will remove all these. And yes, it will remove all your passwords. So you will need to re-put those in because it's cleaning all of that out. Fix shortcuts. If you've got a problem with your shortcuts, you can use this. Clean Xbox data. And also clean Microsoft Store cache. If you've got any sort of cache in there that you want to clean out, you can do right here. Or clean any sort of EA cache or Steam cache or Discord cache or Epic Games cache. Any of these will be cleaned out by clicking on any of these buttons right here. If you want me to add any more inside here, by all means do so. I can go all the way down here. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be that many more, but again, they might have some other ones you want to add inside here to clean up. Again, like I said, if you want to clean the Discord cache, make sure Discord is closed. Make sure any of your browsers are closed before you're running any of this stuff, because you're going to run into errors and it will clean them. I simply don't want to clean any of this stuff off today because obviously of passwords and things like that. I'm not sitting there putting all those back in, and I don't use password managers on my system. So that's the reason why I'm not running, but they do all work perfectly fine. Okay, let's move on to Windows Repair. And again, this is a quick fix button. This is going to run a bunch of sequences of SFC scan now and also DISM commands to clean and fix and repair Windows. It's an all-in-one tool. You can click this and it's going to run a sequence of these one after the other. Restore Health is in there as well, but it will run these in sequence. You can just run an SFC scan now check right here. You can click on this and it's going to run a check on the system. And when it's finished, it should give us a finished result right here. So be patient and let it do its thing, because these do take a bit of time. And there you go. It's given us the verification complete. It's starting to come up on the screen right here. And you can see right here, it's going to give you the percentage right here. Again, if I want to do a DISM check, it executes an infrastructure. You can see here, integrity scan. So I can do that right here. And it's going to go ahead and do that right here and give me some information, and it will go through and give me the percentage right here and doing a quick check here. This is not doing any sort of fixing. It's just checking right now, and you can see it going across the screen. Just let it do its thing. And when it's finished, we will see the end result. And again, if you've got other ones you want to run here, like cleanup and also restore, you can just hover over these and it will tell you exactly what they are going to be doing on the system. Okay. Now, if you've got a issue with a blue screen of death, you can click on the check the logs and it will check the logs on that system. It's not found any mini dump files inside Windows mini dump, but I've just put some mini dump files in there. And you can now see it's found 4 mini dump files. These are blue screen dump files which have information on them that will help you diagnose and troubleshoot your PC. So if you're getting crashing or anything like that, you can always use this tool to check. Now it's telling us that we need to examine these files. And you can do that by going to either the Win debugger tool. Basically, it's going to download this. This is 450 megabytes in size. And it's going to take a bit of time and a bit more professionalism to work it because it's much more involved. These are the sorts of tools that I use and other PC repair techs might use. But if you're a home user or something like that, you might want to use, say, Blue Screen View. And you can click on this right here. It's going to download Blue Screen View. And it's now going to show us the dump file right here. And we can now see we do have information right here. So let me just open this right up. And we can, if you want to, you can change the view on this particular blue screen view right here. And you can go into the options panel. There's lots of options right here. So if you want to have the XP style blue screen right here, you can do, and it will give you the dump file in this format right here. And you can see what it actually is. And you can see it's related to dxg kernel.sys. And there's also another one here. And this is another file that it's related to. And this, obviously, this person's having some sort of graphical issue right here. And you can use this to help troubleshoot. And if you go to any sort of forum that's helping you try to troubleshoot, you can use these sort of tools to do that. So this is Blue Screen View, and there's also other ones you can use as well, but very, very useful. I'm not going to go through the troubleshooting process right now for this video, but it's useful if you want to troubleshoot blue screen dump files. Also, we've got reset the Windows policies. If you've got group policies in place or you've got registry policies put in place, this is going to basically nuke those and put them back to default settings. So if you're a tinkerer and you've been tinkering around using group policies and things like that, it's going to reset all these back to default settings. And you can back up your group policies right here as well. If you want to do this, you can see it's now backed these up to my desktop, and that's them right here. Let me open that up. You can see there's the policies right here. It's backed these up, and I can import these to any machine, and all my policies will be back up and running. So if Windows updates for some peculiar reason resets any of your settings, you can just drop these back into the group policy folder, and it will basically put them all back in an instant. None of that tweaking, no scripts, none of that stuff. This will be the quickest method. And I've got these files already on my Discord server, which you can download, which have got all of the settings in place. So you can just import them if you want to. But again, you can tweak them to your own liking, but there's a lot of stuff in there like telemetry and also privacy concerns that have been also disabled in these group policy settings. And if we go here, you'll see up the very top, it says some settings are managed by your organization. This means that we have a policy in place, and it will tell you, you can click on here and it will tell you exactly what policies they are. You can see a group policy, group policy, group policy. And this is for Windows updates options and for drivers for Windows quality updates. And we also have another policy there, and I can reset these by using that method right here. So we've got Windows updates repair. This will repair the Windows updates, clean out any all sort of old files that are in there that are maybe causing an issue. So you can't download your updates. You can use something like this as well. If you want me to add any more tools in here, let me know in the comments section down below. We're gradually getting through it. There's quite a lot to go through. Again, tweaks, performance tweaks right here, disable hibernation. I may just get rid of this tweaks one here unless people want to keep it on here. But again, I've got a lot of these other tweaks down in the system settings. But again, this is pretty full, and we can use this for other tweaks that you might want to quickly do, like disable HAGs and also disable memory compression. Ultimate power plan. If you want to add an ultimate power plan to your system, you can do that right here. Also the visual effects, if you want the performance option, click on this and it will set your performance options. Again, you will need to reset your PC and it will basically set these up the way most people like to set them up. If you're on an old potato computer that's pretty old, using this might be beneficial to you because it removes all the animation and stuff like that on the system. This is really sort of for Windows 10 and Windows 11. The visual effects is right here. This is exactly what we're talking about right here. It will basically put in a bunch of these right here. This is custom by myself, but this one will have this one removed and probably just have show thumbnails instead of icons. And also it will have a bunch of other ones, but I'm on Windows 10 here. So let's move on to the next section down here, which is network and DNS. Again, you've got your network reset. If you've got an issue with your network settings and you have an issue with your internet, you can click on network reset right here and it will go through a whole bunch of commands and basically reset all of your network settings. You can flush your DNS here. You can see that's now been done. And we can reset your Wi-Fi right here as well. I can add in view Wi-Fi password if you want to as an option right here. That would be a nice one to add in. I'll probably do that right here. IP config, again, this is just going to bang up a bunch of stuff on here like so. And then we can also do the routing table for here. Also, you've got advanced IP scanner. Again, you can run this. This only works on Windows 11. It will download and install on Windows 11 and open it immediately. On Windows 10, it just downloads it and you have to open it yourself. Again, Windows 10 is coming to end of life, so eventually you are going to have to use Windows 11 or use Linux or whatever it is you want to use. You've got your active connections right here. This will bang up all your active connections and it will tell you exactly what is using those connections right here. So for instance, if I go through here, you'll see it's given us a load of information here. Show you right here, we've got DNS servers. If you like to change your DNS server, you can go Google DNS, Cloudflare DNS, Quad9, or you've got Cloudflare family. This is basically going to block out a lot of adult content. If you want to use that, you've got young children, you might want to use something like this. These will be better off in your router settings. But again, like I said, this is for the PC settings right here. And if they're using a local account and using, say, a child's account where they don't have administrator rights, once these are changed, they won't be able to change them back. So you could do this as administrator and then put them on one of them standard accounts so they can't do anything with it. You've also got OpenDNS family as well, which is also going to block a lot of adult content and other stuff like that to stop them seeing it. And you've got AdGuard family as well, which is also blocking malware, adult content, and a bunch of other stuff as well. If you want to set this for IP version 6 DNS, you can do right here and checkmark this and run the same ones and it will set them up for IP version 6 if that's what you want to do. Now, I've just jumped onto Windows 11 here to show you some of the other ones like speed test as well. Now, for some reason, if you haven't got this installed, you can download and install it via this method right here. We'll use winget to install it. Let's try and run it without it first to see if it's already installed on the system. What this is going to do is give you the ping, the download and upload, basically run a speed test on your system. And we'll let that run. And if it hasn't got this installed, it's going to ask us to install this. But you can see it's already got this installed on the system. And you can see right here, it's give us this speed test right here. Download, and there's our upload. No packet loss whatsoever. And it's using the speed test.net. And that's basically what it's using. Now, if you do need to install it for whatever reason, it will come up in red here saying you need to install this tool, and you can go ahead and install it by clicking on this. Install and upgrades. Okay, so if you need to install, say, Chocolatey or Winget, you can do this up the top here. So let's go ahead and click Install Chocolatey, and you can see success. Chocolatey has been installed, and I think Winget is already installed here, so we can go ahead and check that right here. This still needs a bit of work, working on some of these apps. Some of these apps might not work, but again, like I said, it just depends. So let's go Crystal Disk Mark right here, and we can install via Chocolatey or via Winget. So let's try Chocolatey first. So when you check mark it like so, you can go Install App, and it's going to go off and pull this down and install this onto the system if it can find it, and if the actual installation, there you go, it's done. Then it's give you all the information right here. If you need to find, say for instance, something else to download, whether it's benchmarks, browsers, or whether you've got games, these are for like the Epic Games or GeForce Now, or you've got Xbox app or EA app, or whatever it is you want to install, you can do. You can just click on those and install them, and it should do. So let's go ahead and click on install apps like so, and we can go ahead and do CPU-Z right here, and it's going to go ahead and try to find CPU-Z and install that onto the system. Now again, there we go, it's now done and it's now installed. And again, these are all coming from the source, and if you need to download, say, GPU-Z, we can do that also, and you can do multiple ones at the same time. So let's try that and do GPU-Z right here. And we can do, say, for instance, 7-zip. So let's go ahead and install apps. And this will do both of these apps. And you can see GPU-Z has now been done. And it's now going to go ahead and do 7-zip on the system. Find that, and it's going to go ahead and install that as well. And again, I can add more apps on here if you want to. I'm just not really sure what people really need. I just put on some of the most common stuff that people do need on a regular basis. And again, that's now done 7-zip. If you want to uninstall something, you can do. For instance, I can now clear the list, and we can now go, say, for instance, GPU-Z, and we can click uninstall application, and it will say uninstall application. Yes, and it should now disappear down here, and you should see it uninstall the application. And there we go. That's now gone. And you can upgrade all your applications that are installed. This is going to take a bit of time, so I'm not going to do it here, but it will search through and upgrade all the applications that are installed on the system. And you can do it via Winget or via Chocolatey. And if you want me to add some other buttons on here for other bits and pieces, let me know in the comments section down below. So that is the app install section. Let's take a look at the system settings. Again, this is not fully finished, but I'll give you an idea of what I've got so far. So basically, we've got Restart File Explorer. Sometimes you'll need to do that for some of these to take effect. Sometimes you'll need to restart the PC. We can uninstall all the Apex apps. This is all your apps that are inside here. So for instance, let's open this up right here. This is all the pre-installed apps that we have installed on here, which are all default because this is a fresh install of Windows. So let's go ahead and click on this one right here. And it's then going to start to execute and uninstall all of these apps. So this is sort of getting into the territory of a debloat tool. And I really don't want to make it a full-blown debloat tool because there is lots of tools out there that do exactly that. But again, some of the most annoying things are these apps right here. Now I've got it set to uninstall everything apart from, say, Notepad and Calculator, and it's going to uninstall the rest. It won't uninstall the remote desktop connection. It's going to leave that in there. But all the rest of the stuff it's going to remove. It's not going to uninstall Microsoft Edge because that can cause problems. Some people might want to add that in. If you do, I'll add that in as a separate button rather than adding that in as the full-blown remove all in one go. But all this stuff is for stuff that I've been using on here. It's not going to remove any of this because this is the sort of stuff that I'm using. It's just going to remove all of the Windows apps. And you can see it's already removed all of those off the system. So they're now all gone. And you can see a full list right here, and it will go through and tell you it's removed 31 of these app packages from the system. You can disable the telemetry tasks as well. You can click on this right here, and it will start to disable a bunch of those on the system as well. You've got the optimize the services. Now, I've not gone crazy like some debloat tools where they just do literally loads of these set to manual, because that can cause issues. I've just done a few of these that are the main culprits of, hogging the system. And I can add more to it, but I don't want to go too crazy, and I don't want to make this a full debloating tool, because it's not. It's more of a Windows tuning tool or fixing tool and things like that. So we also have Oh No Shut Up 10. You can click on this right here, and it's going to do this silently in the background and done a bunch of pre-configured settings to be able to put these on here for your privacy. And again, these are the safe settings that it's going to be using right here. It will download the app, download the config file, and it's going to run those on the system without a GUI interface. And you can see it's already now done that right here. And again, that is already downloaded that file. The privacy settings is going to basically run a bunch of settings on the system, telemetry and stuff like that. You see, use at your own risk, and it's going to turn off a lot of advertising ID, app permissions, edge tracking, and all that sort of stuff. It's going to turn all that off. Once you click OK, it will run that in the background. It's not a selective process where you do one at a time. It's going to do basically mainly all the privacy and telemetry on Windows 11. And you can run these if you want to. But again, here, this is another one right here. So if you want to disable recall, you can do, and it will disable recall. If you want to disable some of the other stuff here, like widgets, you can do as well, if that's what you want to do. And that disables the widgets. It's already gone here. You can see it's already taken it out. This is taking it out. And you can disable a bunch of this stuff here as well. If you just want to put these in, you can do like so, and it's going to make these changes. We've got some power plan options right here. You can enable the power plan mode right here. You can select that right here. If you want to select it right here, you can do now. It opens it up. I'm going to leave it on balance because we're on a virtual machine. Disable fast startup. You can put these back to default settings. You can set this to never, and you can do that here if you want to. And a lot of these settings should take place. Again, like I said before, it's not a full debloating tool like WinTune or any of the other programs like WinHance or anything like that. It's not to replace those. This is just an all-in-one sort of maintenance come sort of debloat come, repair. It's just a bit of an all-in-one, really. That's why it's called WinTune. So there we go. So we've already got a lot of this done. Now you can go inside here. And again, a lot of these settings have now been changed. So a lot of this stuff should be off. You can see right here. If you need to turn this off, you can do. I can put this in as an option as well. It's turned all the other stuff off. And you've got this one right here. You can see all these changes have now been changed by the policies that we have in place. You can see these are all turned off as well. So things like when you open up the Explorer now, you can see it goes straight to this page rather than the home page, and a bunch of settings inside there. Let me know what other sort of settings you want me to add inside that application, and I'll do my best to add those in. But like I said, I don't want to turn it into a full-blown debloater. It's just a tool that speeds certain settings up that you do on a regular basis, like show file extensions and so on. And you've got a bunch of other stuff here that you can use, like these two. These are the main ones I use on my system if I'm going to do it as well. I don't do a heavy sort of debloat on the system, just telemetry and privacy really, and that's just about it. We also have system restore here. So if you've got system restore points that you want to do, you can view system restore points right here by clicking on this. It doesn't have any, so you can create a system restore point by clicking on this right here. If it doesn't allow you to create one, it means you need to enable it. And then you'll get a restore point created successfully. And it does take a bit of time, so be patient. Don't start clicking off of stuff. Let it finish its job. and then you should be able to review the actual restore point right here. And again, you can delete all the restore points if you want to by doing this here, and you can also clean up restore points as well, which is going in here, and do it manually if you want to. You can see them listed here, or you can use this method right here. And this one has failed, so that needs some work to fix, the delete one, but we still have this one right here which you could do anyway. But I will fix that. It's just the first bug I've seen on here so far, which isn't too bad, but that's fixable. Anyway, let's move on to the firewall manager. I'm not sure if I was going to leave this on the system, but basically these are your firewall rules right here. If you need to enable a rule, or disable a rule, or delete a rule, or export rules, you can do that. But you can do this with inside Windows. But again, you can go through here, and like I said before, you can highlight some of this stuff and disable if you wanted to. For instance, let's try and find one right here. Let's do network discovery right here. If you wanted to delete this rule, you could do, or you could disable this rule right here, and it will disable it. You can see it's been disabled. And if you want to enable it, you can also enable it right there. But you can do this inside Windows, but I just thought it would be something to add inside here for people that want everything in one sort of place. And if you want something a little bit more clearer than this, let me know, and I'll do my best to work on that and get that a little bit clearer with some maybe some status and things like that, ports up here above here, little buttons, so you can actually see it a bit clearer. Again, that's a little bit more work. Okay, so let's move on to Process Manager. Again, it's not the best process manager in the world, but it does exactly what it's meant to do. You can see we do have files here, processes running right here. At a quick glance, you can kill this process. You can set to high priority. You can do this in Windows, and it might be easier. But again, I've added it in here. It needs a bit more work to polish it up a little bit to make it look a bit better. But again, like I said, I can kill a process right here, and it's pretty straightforward. Or we can set it to normal or show low priority. And I need to add a few more buttons in here, like always on top and so on here, so we can add those in. USB Creator, again, it's not the most best USB creation tool out there, but it does create a USB flash drive that is bootable from Windows 11 and Linux and things like that. And again, if it's Windows, you can put in, say, unsupported hardware right here. It will drop in the files needed for this to actually go through and do that. Or you can do the full automated version right here, and it will inject that into the ISO as well. It's not going to replace Rufus and programs like that that do a way better job. This is just a basic tool to create a bootable USB flash drive, and you can inject these files into it. Again, it's not going to replace those tools, but again, it's here all under one hood. And again, I could put a download link to Rufus where it downloads it and then opens it up. But again, that might be against his terms, which obviously I'd have to look into. But I'll quickly share the basics of it. Basically, it's pretty straightforward. It's not a rocket ship at creating bootable USB flash drives by any stretch of the imagination. I've not put vast amounts of work into it, but I just wanted to show you. So we're going to basically select our ISO file right here. And again, you've got a drop down right here. If it doesn't see it, you need to refresh. And there it is right there. So we can now select this. We can now click on create bootable USB. It's now going to tell us right here. It will take several minutes, so be patient. So we're going to click OK. And there you go. You'll get up the top, step 1 of 4. And it's going to open this actual bootable drive here. This is going to start copying over all of the files from that ISO into here. Do not close it down. It is actually copying this over. You can see right here, it's in step 2 of 4. And again, it does take a bit of time, so be patient. But we'll come back when this is done. It will take a few minutes for it to do what it needs to do. Okay, so that is now completed. That took about 10 minutes, which is not the fastest, but again, work in progress. I need to do a little bit more investigation on how to make this a bit faster. Whether I can or not, I don't know. I can see Can click OK here. This was the restore point right here. That was when I tried to do the delete, so that's okay. This is the part here at the bottom. So it's got a few little bugs here and there, but it's still working pretty well. If you want to inject the unsupported hardware file, which is an auto unattended XML file, which just does TPM 2.0 secure boot and so on, you can use that method there, or you can use the full blown, which will completely make it all nice and clean during the installation. You can use this method right here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the actual method. So I'm going to go right here, and these are the files. So let me go ahead and click this. Let me pull this to one side, and all it's going to do is basically click this run right here, and you can see it's now put it right in here, and it's only 5 KB because it's only got a basic information to get you onto Windows 11 on unsupported hardware. And again, you can see right here, we can click this one right here, and it will do the same thing. It's injected that on there as well. It's downloaded this, extracted it, and it's put that onto the system. And you can see that's a lot more information in there, which will give you a fully debloated system during the installation, if that's what you want to do. Again, Rufus is a way to get Windows installed on the system. It doesn't fully debloat the system, but if you want a full debloated method, you could use Rufus and then drop one of these files in there if you wanted to. Anyway, the choice is yours. You can save a full report right here if you wanted to, and this will give you a full report. And you can see it's put that on the desktop. And again, we can close the application, and that is it. We are pretty much done. So work in progress still for some of the items. I know people are going to pester me. When is it released? This is what they keep doing. But at the end of the day, when it's done, I will release it and I'll let you know. It's still got a few little things that need finishing off. If you've got any other bits and pieces that you want me to add, let me know in the comments section down below, or post them on the Discord server. You can post them on there and I'll take a look in the technology channel. You can talk about it on there. Bit of a long video, but I wanted to go through it all individually so you can see what it actually does. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Like I said before, it's not there to replace WinHance or WinUtil. It's not the same tool as those. It does have a little bit of debloating on it. Probably nowhere near as good as what those two are doing it. But at the end of the day, it's not really designed for that. But I would like to enhance the Windows debloating features on this. So if anyone's got any ideas, let me know, and I will try and do my best to add those into the application as soon as I can. Anyway, with that said, my name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Hope you're all having a lovely day. Just big shout out to all my YouTube members who have joined my YouTube members group. I do appreciate the support, and I shall catch you in the next video. Bye for now.